the Latino Professional Alumni Chapter, the Black Alumni and Friends Chapter, and the Cal Poly Pomona Alumni Association. So I want to thank you all for coming today. My name is Anastasia Zamora Ortiz. I am currently the secretary for the Latino Professional Alumni Chapter. Today's topic is going to be practicing self-care during trying times. I want to thank you again for joining us for this virtual workshop. It's going to be on unique methods to conquer stress, anxiety, and depression during current events. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you all to Corey Gaither, joining us from the Cal Poly Black Alumni and Friends Chapter.
Hello. Hi, thank you, Anastasia. I want to thank the Latino Alumni Professional Chapter for putting this event together and also allowing the Cal Poly Pomona Black Alumni and Friends Chapter to partner with them when it comes to this event. Just to go over some quick etiquette rules. Please note that this workshop will be recorded for any attendees that don't make it. And then for later reference, it will be posted on the alumni website at Cal Poly. So please feel free to go back to it and refer other people to that recording. Dr. Tiffany Harvey is a mental health specialist, and currently she's a professor at Pepperdine. She will be providing a workshop for 40 minutes, and then the remainder of the workshop will be question and answer. So please feel free to type your questions in the chat, and please use the, well, we currently don't have that function, but please, any questions, put in the chat. We do have Anna and Noel who are on staff at Cal Poly. They're going to be in the chat box, and they're going to make sure that your questions do get answered by our facilitator, Dr. Harvey. Also, we will be providing some resource material, so we'll be providing that in the chat with a link, so please feel free to go to that as well. And with no further ado, let me introduce, or let me hand it over to Dr. Tiffany Harvey. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this wonderful event, which I think is so needed right now because of everything that's going on in our world. I think we all are experiencing some sort of stress, some sort of worry, some sort of hardship because of everything that's going on, from the pandemic, from the different protests that's been going on. Just a lot of stressors that's been going on. So I think this was a great topic for us to discuss today, and hopefully everything that I'm discussing today will be something that will be left on your mind and on your heart, and you'll be able to take something from today's presentation. So, you know, with us being getting started, I kind of just want you guys to kind of just take a deep breath in and kind of let that out, and kind of just, you know, sit and relax as much as you can. And hopefully I'll try and keep you guys engaged with everything that we're talking about today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my presentation. And hopefully everyone can see this. Okay. So we are discussing practicing self-care in trying times. And so the first thing I really wanted to talk about is really like, what is stress? Because stress can be different for everybody. But the main concept of stress is just stress is a feeling of emotional and physical tension. So this can be in times where we get a trigger, and it can be a very conscious trigger, or it can be an unconscious trigger. It can be you just sitting in your car and you're stuck in traffic, and the traffic starts to slow down. You have to slam on your brakes. It can be stress from that, or it can be stress from work, where now in our world today, everybody's work situation is changing, whether we're working from home or we're still in the office, working in the office. We can get stress from that, just from the environment that we're working in can be stressful. We can get stress at home. If you have kids, the kids are not going to school physically right now anymore. They're doing school online. So that can be stressful. Or just waking up in the morning can be stressful. So we can go through a lot of stress. So stress is just an emotional or physical reaction to some known or unknown sort of trigger. It can come from any thought or event that makes you feel frustrated, angry, or nervous or scared. It is our body's reaction to these challenging or demanding times. So in small little bursts, sometimes stress can be very useful. It can be helpful. Because if you're driving and you have to slam on your brakes, of course, you will want some alarm in your body to say, hey, you're about to get into a car accident. Let's stop. Let's do something to react to that trigger. So sometimes stress can be a positive and helpful thing, because it basically, stress is like our alarm system, where it's helping us to see we have to avoid a danger, or we have to respond quickly because we have a deadline. Like at work, you may have a project that's due. You will want some sort of reaction in your mind and in your body to let you know that you have to prepare for that deadline. So sometimes stress can be helpful. So healthy stress, this can be the acute stress. So responding to some sort of quick trigger, like a deadline, or to you slamming on your brakes, or to a dog running down the street at you. You have to respond quickly. So sometimes that acute stress or that quick response is very helpful. So it can be short term. The stress can last for minutes or maybe a couple of hours. It occurs when you slam on your brakes, or when your child cries in the other room, or when somebody coughs. You may get some sort of reaction, like your heart starts to beat fast, and so you have to respond quickly. So sometimes stress can be very helpful. It warns our body to prepare for fight or flight or freeze in dangerous situations. So it may be anxiety provoking, and sometimes it may even get you very angry. But sometimes that stress can be helpful in that moment, because it warns us to prepare to either fight against the trigger, to run away from the situation, or sometimes we may freeze because our bodies just doesn't know what to do in that moment. But sometimes it can be helpful in that moment if the stress only lasts for a short period of time. But what if that stress continues? What do we do then? Is that healthy, or is that not healthy? So sometimes stress can become unhealthy, and that's called the chronic stress. This is when stress tends to occur longer than hours, maybe even days. This can be stress at work, where you have a very stressful environment, where you may have a supervisor that is constantly getting on you every single day about something. Or it can be your coworkers, where you are having some sort of relational struggles at work with your coworkers. But this can be an everyday thing. And if that stress continues on, it can become very unhealthy for you. So this is prolonged stress that continues to occur for days and even months or even years. This can be stress that is consistent, like maybe you're in a marriage that's just unhealthy for you, but you continue to stay in that marriage because you love the person, you love the environment you guys are in, and the family that you've created. Or it can be a stressful job. It can be family problems. It can be other relationship difficulties. The stress can become so normal that you may not even notice that the stress is unhealthy. So this can be, again, if you're going to a job and you know you have to have this job, but the environment is so toxic that you continue to stay in that work environment because you know you have to have this job to pay bills. You need the job to be able to feed yourself and your family, but you continue to go on to this job that's very toxic for you. So you take in those emotions that you may be holding inside. So maybe you're angry, maybe you're sad. You go home and you kind of keep that bottled up inside. It can cause so many issues for you. You can start having so many different problems, from heart problems, from physical problems, where you start to feel that pain in your muscles or in your body. You're waking up with your jaws hurting because you feel you're sleeping with that stress. So sometimes that stress can be so normal because you're constantly going to something that you become used to. And so if you don't start to pick up on the physical or even the mental stress that you're experiencing, it can cause a lot of health problems down the line. So let's start to understand what happens when we feel stressed. So the stress reaction, again, this is our fight, flight, or freeze response. So when there is stress, the stress response occurs like this. So if we can look at, I'll show you a picture. In our brain, this is if you ever want to kind of see a demonstration of your brain, if you ball up your fist like this is kind of like the shape of your brain. Of course, your brain is much bigger, but if this will be the shape of your brain, and this is the front of your brain, this is like the frontal lobe here. And so your brain will be like this. At the bottom will be the amygdala. The amygdala is your emotional center. So when you are stressed, when you have a trigger, that response go to that part of your brain, the amygdala, which is our emotional center. And this is like, you can call this our fire alarm. When that stress hits that amygdala, your amygdala responds quickly for the fight response to occur. So then the amygdala is like, oh my God, danger, what's going on? We need to respond. So then the amygdala will send that response to your hypothalamus, which is right in between the amygdala. So you have two little balls, that's your amygdala, and in between that is your hypothalamus. And so here, your hypothalamus kind of wakes up and sends hormones to your pituitary, which is a little bit below your amygdala. And so then your pituitary also sends hormones down to your adrenal glands that sits on your kidney. It's like a little triangle. If you see here on the picture, the adrenal glands is like a triangle shape, and it's right on your kidneys. It releases adrenaline and cortisol, and those are your stress hormones. Those hormones are used to help release glucose, which is sugar. And so you need that sugar because it turns into energy. And so that energy gives you that strength to respond to whatever stressor it may be. So it can be, it gives you that energy to either, again, fight that stressor, or to run away from that stressor, or sometimes even freeze. So the cortisol and the adrenaline, it gives you that energy. It also helps to helps with blood pressure, and it also helps to contract your blood vessels so that the blood can be rushed to certain muscles in your body, so that your body can prepare to respond to that stressor. So again, this is all a part of your autonomic nervous system. And with your autonomic nervous system, this is your unconscious response. This is what your body is responding unconsciously, because your amygdala is all about your emotions. It's not really the thought process, which is your frontal lobe. So your amygdala is only responding on emotions. So it's just telling you, hey, there is a dangerous situation going on. You need to respond quickly. You don't have a moment to think about how to respond. You're just going to respond. Again, either you're going to fight against that stressor, or you're going to run away from the stressor, or you're going to freeze. So sometimes you don't have that moment to really think about how you're going to respond. And so sometimes in those situations, that can also be very frightening, because your body is just going to react in what it needs to do in that moment to protect you. So it's really important that we find ways to be able to handle stress in that moment, so our bodies are not just reacting off of impulse. So when we start to have chronic stress, our bodies will do that. It will start to just automatically respond in that moment. And we really do need to be able to find ways that we can help ourselves to be able to learn how to calm ourselves in that moment, so that we're just not responding off impulse. So how can we do that? When we are chronically stressed, when we are constantly in a stressful situation that we feel that we can't pull ourselves out of, how can we do that? How can we find space and peace so that we can respond in stressful situations? So if we're thinking about a little bit more about stress, first we have to find out how to identify when we are stressful. So what are some of the symptoms that may pop up when we are stressed? We may have some physical symptoms, so we start to feel aches and pains. One thing that I started to learn a lot more about is sometimes when you're stressed, when you're asleep, your body tends to keep that stress in. So if you've ever experienced, when you wake up in the morning, you start to feel some sort of pain in your jaw. Well, sometimes when you stress out, that causes you, when you sleep, to start to grind on your teeth. And that causes so much pain to your jaws. You're applying so much pressure to your jawline when you're asleep. When you wake up, you feel that in the morning. So if you start to feel that in the morning, I would definitely suggest probably talking with your doctor or your dentist to see if that's something that you're doing. Because if you really are stressed out, sometimes that may occur and you'll wake up with jaw pain a lot, which is very painful. But you may also experience some other aches in other parts of your body, like your legs or like your arms. You may even have some digestive problems because when you're stressed, a lot of parts of your body tends to either start to slowly shut down or some parts of your body starts to get overused. You may get very nauseous or dizzy. You may feel chest pains and rapid heart rates. So again, when that's stress, when you get that trigger and your brain is trying to tell you to respond to those hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, those are causing your heart to pump. It's starting your blood to be pushed to certain muscles of your body. So it's raising up your blood pressure. So then you'll start to feel your heart beat faster. And then you might start to feel chest pains because again, muscles, part of your body, the muscles are tensing so that your body can respond to that stressor. And you may even have more colds because sometimes your immune system may get shut down or suppressed when you're constantly dealing with stress because again, parts of your body has to be used to respond to that stressor. So your immune system may be shut down. And then you may get more colds like the flu and things like that. What about emotional symptoms? You may experience depression. You may experience anxiety. So if your heart is constantly beating fast, your heart rate is going up, these things may start to feel like you're having an anxiety attack or a panic attack. And that's very scary. Some people may even feel like they're having a heart attack. That can be very scary. You may even experience moodiness, irritability, or anger, feeling overwhelmed, or feeling lonely or isolated. And these things can also lead to more mental health issues. What about cognitive symptoms? You may start to have memory problems or you can't remember everything. You may have struggles with being able to concentrate. Because if you're constantly trying to respond to some sort of trigger or some sort of stressor, again, if your brain is only functioning to be able to help you respond in that moment, and you're not being able to fully think in that moment, of course you're going to lose concentration because you're focusing on how to respond to that stressor, and that can become one of the main things that you're focusing on throughout the day. So if we're thinking about like if you're having car problems, and right now because of the economy we're in right now, a lot of people don't have jobs, and so their finances are a big issue. And if you're having a car problems, how are you going to be able to pay for those car problems? That can be something that's of your main focus. So how can you concentrate on anything else if that becomes a big issue for you? And then sometimes when we're constantly in a stressful situation, sometimes it's hard to see the positive in anything else because we're so stressed out. And then you become more anxious, you start to worry more. And then what about behavioral symptoms? So if we're dealing with all these emotions and all these physical pains, what do we do in response to that? We may eat more or we may eat less. Our sleeping will definitely be affected. You may even sleep more or you may even sleep less, depending on what the stressor may be. You may withdraw from others, meaning you may isolate yourself because you're so stressed out. You're so worried about so many other things that's going on right now. You don't have the time or the patience to deal with anybody. So you may just want to keep to yourself, which in small bouts that can be okay. But what if you start to isolate even more? That can even become unhealthy. And then if you are stressed out at work, guess what? Slowly your productivity slows down. The morale changes. You don't have the energy or the focus to want to even work anymore. So you start to procrastinate more. You start to neglect some of your projects at work. You maybe even try to stay out. If you're still working in the office, you may try and get to work even later and later. So your time at work changes. And then some people may even start using alcohol or drugs because it helps them to relax, or it helps them to numb away from whatever the stressor may be. And you may even start to have nervous habits like biting your nails or pacing back and forth. So how can we protect ourselves when we are dealing with some major stressors? When we are dealing with a lot of stress, chronic stress, what are some things that we can do? So this is where we come in with the self-care, which is this main topic, self-care. What is self-care? Self-care is really what it says, self-care, caring for yourself. Because sometimes, especially in the world that we live in right now, it's kind of hard to focus on ourselves because so many people are being affected, especially if you are a parent. Because your kids are at home now, you don't have time or the space to even think about yourself because somebody is calling your name. Whether it's your children, if you're married, it's also your husband or your wife or your spouse. Somebody's constantly calling your name, so you don't even have a moment or a second to even think about yourself. But sometimes we have to find space for us to do that. So self-care is really trying to make time for yourself. Sometimes you have to be selfish. So how can we do that? Taming chronic stress through taking care of our mental, physical, emotional health. So the first thing is definitely paying attention to the signs of stress. Whenever you start to feel stress, whether it's you started to see it in your emotions where you're becoming more sad or more angry or irritable, self-care is definitely something you want to start to try and do. If you start to feel the physical pain, self-care is something you should do. If people are telling you, oh, I think you stressed, you look a little stressed, well, self-care is something you should start trying to do. So we're going to go through some helpful self-care tips. So if you have a piece of paper or a pen, if you want to write it down, this will be a great time. Maybe you can write down a list of some of the self-care tips that we give you. And maybe after this, you can try and make time to do some of these self-care activities. Even if it has to be just one self-care activity, that will definitely be helpful. So what are the benefits of self-care? It helps increase productivity. It improves long-term health. It enhances self-esteem, encourages self-awareness, and improves social interactions. So it helps you be able to find space for yourself where you can help either reduce stress or reduce the responses to stress so that you can be at a better space where you can really help yourself, help boost your energy, help boost your self-esteem, help boost your concentration so that all these things of the benefits can occur. So the key to self-care, let it be enjoyable. If it feels like work, so some of the self-care tips that I'm gonna say is like exercising. A lot of people don't like to exercise. So if you don't like to exercise because you feel like it causes so much exertion and takes your energy, don't do it. So anything that I list or state today, if it seems like work, don't write it down. So if it feels like work, don't do it because then you will increase your stress levels. And that's not the purpose of self-care. The purpose is to reduce stress. So here I'm going to list 6 types of self-care. So the first one is social. The first thing is setting boundaries. If you are stressed at work because you have a supervisor that is causing you a lot of problems, find a way to set boundaries. Maybe you need to have a meeting where you can be able to talk to your supervisor if that is feasible. Being able to, when you go into work, you work those 9 to 5 hours or whatever your time frame is. If it's feasible, after work, you turn off your work phone, you let your coworkers know, I will see you the next day, and you don't respond to any more emails, any more calls until the next day, if it's feasible. If you're at home and you want just time for yourself, maybe an hour, maybe even 30 minutes, being able to communicate to your family, I need this time for me. Again, setting those boundaries. So whatever that means for you, being able to set those boundaries is definitely key. Limiting toxic social media, because everything that's going on right now, sometimes we have to disconnect from the electronics. We have to disconnect from social media. If you're constantly on like Instagram, Facebook, or whatever other social media accounts you have, and you're constantly seeing a lot of things that's causing you some sort of anxiety or anger, then remove that from you for a couple of hours, or even a whole day. We have to disconnect from things that are causing us stress. So social media is one big one right now because of everything that's going on in our world right now. Increase positive social media. So maybe like TikTok, the kids are into TikTok right now, and it's fun, it's funny to see, it's funny to do. So if you have children at home, maybe try and spend more time with your kids on TikTok, doing like little dancing videos with your kids. Or if you feel comfortable, create your own TikTok and do some of those dancing videos for yourself. Or just going on social media and only allowing your feed to post positive things. So that means you have to start searching more positive accounts, maybe affirmation accounts, that things that will be posted where they're giving you positive quotes. So trying to increase more positive social media. So visiting friends and family if you can. I know with the COVID-19, we still practicing social distancing. So if you have friends or family that you feel safe to go around, then try and increase your social contact as much as possible. Again, if it's feasible. And ask for help. So if you are stressed out, for those, again, if you feel safe and comfortable contacting a family member or friend to say, hey, either I need to come see you or can you come see me? If you have children, if you have somebody that you feel safe around with your children, asking them if they can just watch your kids for like an hour or two, just so you can have time for yourself. Sometimes that is much needed. So trying your hardest to ask for help when you need it. I know in times like this, sometimes we all want to just be tough and sometimes macho and be those strong individuals that we really want to be. But sometimes we have to learn to ask for help, and it's okay to ask for help. Join a social club if you can, like a book club. They have a lot of virtual book clubs right now, which are very popular. They have run clubs right now. If you feel safe out there in public, wearing your mask or keeping the social distancing, they have the run clubs right now. They also have biking clubs right now that are very popular, and skating clubs. Try and join one of those clubs to get that exercise in, and also to get the social interaction going. And then doing like Netflix parties. I don't know if you guys heard of that, but now Netflix have it to where you can send a link to your friends and all you guys will be able to see the same Netflix movie at the same time. And during the movie, you guys can like talk and communicate about the movie that you're watching. So it's like virtual and you all watch it at the same time and you guys can chat about the movie while the movie is being played. So I think that's something that's really fun. Some other very youthful apps right now is the house party group chat, where I think it allows up to like 8 to 10 people at one time on your phone. And it's an app, and so everybody has to have the app. And so one person just goes on there and they can invite multiple people to like a virtual party. And so I know a lot of people have been doing that for their birthdays or just when they want to have fun with their friends, or like Google Duo or Zoom meeting with your friends. So since we are in this new day and age where virtual reality is kind of our reality now, so we have to find ways to adapt to our environment now. So Zoom meetings or these house party group chats are something that's very popular and something that's going on right now. So trying to do those things might be fun too. And for your kids, summer camps are going on right now. They have a lot of virtual summer camps right now. So trying to find maybe some of those virtual summer camps that your kids can go to just so that they can still have social interaction. Because I know a lot of parents are having a hard time being able to find that space where they feel comfortable with sending their kids either to go see their friends or not see their friends. So our kids need some sort of interaction too. So allowing them to maybe do some virtual summer camps if feasible. The second self-care is spiritual. So sometimes you just maybe need some time alone. I know for myself, one thing that I used to do when the world was opened, I used to sit in my car after work. I used to just sit in my car for like at least 30 minutes to an hour. My family used to look at me like I was crazy, and even my neighbors, but I was just like, sitting in my car is like just me time. I have control over my car. You can't get in my car unless I let you in. So that gave me so much control. And of course, setting boundaries for myself, where I would sit there and if somebody wanted me, they would have to knock on my window and I would either allow them to talk to me or I would say, give me 30 minutes. So just that couple of minutes in my car gave me so much peace because I was able to sit in my car and just relax and kind of just tell myself, let go of the stress of the day. And that was so peaceful for me. And then I will be able to go back into my house and I'll be fine for the rest of the evening. So spending time alone sometimes is much needed. Meditating. Now I know some people have some sort of worry or negative connotation about meditation, but meditation can be a very spiritual thing. So you can use meditation if you believe in a higher power. You can use that time to be able to speak to your higher power, or you can use it to just listen to music, or to have candles around you and to do some sort of aromatherapy where you're just have candles and kind of just taking in the smells of candles. But meditation is just a moment in time where you sit in that moment in silence and kind of just do certain things to keep you centered, to keep you relaxed in that moment. Joining a yoga class, if you can. They also have virtual yoga classes. So doing some yoga. Yoga is all about being centered, stretching your body, bringing peace to your body and bringing peace to your mind. So learning different techniques to be able to stretch and center your body, and connecting with oneself. So doing journaling or doing positive affirmations, or even energy cleansing. So with positive affirmations, maybe every day you can write a Post-it note and post it somewhere on either the mirror in your bathroom. So writing a positive note to yourself every day to helps boost that self-confidence, helps boost that self-connection with yourself, helps boost even just the energy to be able to go to work or to do whatever stressor that you know that you're going to have today. But it gives you that boost of energy for that day. And also just reminds yourself and gives you that confidence that you may need. So positive affirmations are very helpful. And then journaling. So one good thing is that I have done in the past, and I need to get back into, is journaling at the end of the day. That's very helpful. Is when you are ready to go to bed, before you go to bed, just journal everything that's on your mind. Because sometimes when we sleep, we're just sleeping with that stress on us, which also affects us when we're sleeping because our mind is just constantly thinking about all the stress that we just dealt with today. So sometimes you may just need to dump all that stress into something or onto something. So maybe journaling and writing everything that was stressing you out today and putting that on a piece of paper. And maybe taking that paper and either ripping it up or burning it up is sometimes very helpful. Or maybe even in the morning, writing in the morning everything that's on your mind. Because maybe in that moment you may need to dump all that out. So journaling can be very helpful. And then when I mean energy cleansing, so those who are into energy, into auras, into chakras, they have a lot of up and coming and even new types of therapy. They're called like Reiki therapy, which is all about energy, where you actually have a practitioner who is well trained, and what they will do is have you lie down, and it's all about them putting in good positive energy into you and taking out negative energy. So it's all about energy. So they're basically pushing in energy from their body, from their hands into you. And it can be very helpful. It can be very enlightening for those who believe in something like that. Also, they have chakra cleansing. So a practitioner will come in with different objects or different things to help clean your chakras. So again, that's all about energy and things like that. So that can definitely be helpful if you are into things like that. creating a prayer corner. So again, if you believe in a higher power, if you are religious or spiritual, you can create a prayer corner where you actually sit in this corner, and this will just be, again, you time, and you get to just pray to your higher power. Or join a prayer group. I know I've had clients and our family members who have joined prayer groups where they meet once a week and they pray for a couple of minutes. And that has been just something that was very helpful for them, just for those couple of minutes. Even attending virtual church. So right now, churches are not able to congregate together physically, but they definitely have virtual churches where you can tune in through the computer or through your phone and watch church online. So definitely finding ways to still connect to your spiritual practices or your religious practices, and spending time in nature. Some parks, some hiking trails are still open where you still have to keep social distance, 6 feet of distance, and still wear your mask, but you can still spend time out in nature, because sometimes being stuck in the house is stressful. Don't nobody want to be stuck in the house all day. So sometimes you may need to go outside and get some air, see some greenery. So being able to either go to some hiking trails or some sort of park where it's not too crowded, and spending some time there. Sometimes it's good just to get that fresh air. So I know for me, I like to go to Abalone Cove, which is in, I think it's Pacific Palisades area. It's right off the beach. So that can be very good. And I love the fresh air of the ocean. That can be so relaxing. And camping, if you can go camping with your family or your friends, that can be fun too. It can be relaxing as well too. So now we're gonna do a 5-minute meditation, so that you guys can kind of get the gist of what like a meditation or feels like. So Miss Anna, you're gonna share the video with us. So I just want, you guys are going to hear the meditation. So just get as comfortable as you can wherever you are. And it's going to be for 5 minutes, and just, or Anna, you're not going to share the video. I'm going to play the video, I'm sorry, on my phone, and just listen to the video. It's going to tell you some things to do, and kind of just listen as much as you can.
Hey there, and thanks for gifting yourself these next few minutes. It's important to remember that you're a priority, and allowing yourself even just a few short minutes of intentional reflection can really have a positive impact on the rest of your day. So let's use these next few minutes to come back to center and set an intention for the rest of your day. Move into a comfortable position, whether you're seated at your desk at work or laying on the couch at home, and gently close your eyes and shift all of your attention onto your breathing, taking slower, deeper breaths than you've taken all day so far. Taking a deep breath in through your nose and slowly letting it out through your mouth. And continuing to breathe that way, feeling your lungs expand out as you inhale and contract back in as you exhale. Tune into your body, noticing how it feels. Noticing if there's anything that it's trying to tell you. Notice any place of tension or tightness in your body. Give those areas permission to relax, sending love into those areas. Thank your body for taking such good care of you, and let it know that it's okay to rest and relax for these next few minutes. You may notice that your mind starts to wander off. That's okay. That's natural. Just notice it and bring your attention back to your body, using your breath as your anchor. Try to picture one thing that's happened today that's made you smile, or made you thankful or appreciative. And just let that feeling fill you up for a moment. Breathe that feeling in from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And allow yourself to smile if that feels natural. Now focus on something that you can do today, whether it's for yourself or for someone else, that will allow you to continue feeling this way. It could be something as small as deciding to go to bed early tonight, so that you have time to finally read that book that's been on your bedside table. Or the joy of getting dinner with a close friend. What's one little thing you can plan for your day to bring that intentional joy to it? Now just focus on that for a few minutes. Sit in that feeling of joy and peace. Now let's take a few more deep breaths together. A deep breath in, feeling your lungs expand out as you inhale, and everything contract back in as you exhale. Again, an even deeper breath than the one before it. Holding that breath for a beat, and exhaling everything out. Last time, your deepest breath yet, sending that breath through your entire body. And exhale it out, and in your own time, slowly bring your awareness back to where you are. And thank yourself for taking these few minutes to just be intentional and kind to yourself. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay. So hopefully that was something very peaceful for you guys. Okay. And so the next type of self-care is emotional self-care. So again, like I stated, journaling is something that can be very helpful with getting your feelings and your thoughts out. Practicing mindfulness. So mindfulness, again, is just a practice of being centered in the moment, using your five senses. So being able to learn how to focus on in the moment and being present in the moment, whether it's through meditation or listening to music. What I've also been doing lately is doing facials. So I've been doing mindful facials. I've done that with another group called Rare Woman, where I was doing mindful meditation, mindful facials presentations, which was very helpful for those who are into skincare. So doing things like that, or again, setting boundaries. It's okay to say no to others. Being creative, so using arts or cooking or writing is very helpful. Doing a gratitude journal, so writing down just things you are grateful for, and then working on negative self-talk. So again, with positive affirmations, so changing the negative thoughts that you have in your mind with more positive thoughts by using affirmations. And then having compassion for yourself. So it's okay not to be okay. So there will be some rough days that we may have where we're sad, where we're down, where we're angry, and it's okay. But just telling ourselves it's okay to have that moment when we don't feel okay. But then also telling ourselves that we need to take a break so that we can feel better. And it's okay to feel how you feel, however it is that you are feeling. It's okay to feel those feelings. And then practicing forgiveness and kindness toward yourself. So in days where you are stressed out and you feel like you're just taking a toll on yourself, but forgiving yourself, but also giving yourself that space where you can say, okay, it's time to check in on me, and taking that time for myself. So being kind to yourself. And again, physical self-care. So practicing yoga, eating more vegetables and fruits, drinking more water, going for walks, Zumba, running. I put sleep in bold letters because I think a lot of us don't practice that, where we get enough sleep in, that sometimes we may just need to take some time to sleep. Get some sleep. And, getting a massage if you can, if it's feasible, if you can find a place that's still open doing that. And then sensory self-care. So burning candles. I love candles. So being able to buy some candles, burning them around house. So like candles that have like maybe lavender or chamomile or something that will be that you like, or any scent that you like to burn around your house, to kind of just open up some of your nose and your pores and your body and things like that, just so you can feel good and feel better and more relaxed. Or using, or this can be a form of aromatherapy, which is a new form of holistic type of approach, where you're using like oils or candles, which can be very helpful. I know for me, I have some sort of oils that I use. Like this one is called Awakening, where I roll it onto my skin and inhale the scents, which can help give me a boost of energy. Or calming oil that I tend to smell when I'm feeling stressed out. So those are some things that you can do. Or listening to music, listening to ocean waves. So they have a lot of apps where you can listen to different sounds and stuff like that. Intellectual, so reading books, writing poetry, doing puzzles, watching documentaries if you want to watch documentaries, or listening to different podcasts, learning a new language, or taking a new class. That was pretty fast. So that was pretty much it from the 6 different types of self-care. So again, emotional, physical, spiritual, intellectual, and sensory type of self-care. So I was going to do another meditation. This will be for 3 minutes. And the reason why I did these meditations is so that I can help you guys see how meditation can be very helpful. So even if it's a short meditation for 5 minutes to 3. So if you've never done meditation and you want to get into that, you can always start with very short meditation. So like from a 5-minute to a 3-minute meditation. So I'm going to do one more meditation.
Take a few deep breaths. Mindful breathing. Close your eyes and rest your hands on your knees. Bring your attention to the touch of your body on your seat. Feel the weight of your body on your chair or cushion. Make sure that your back is straight and that you're comfortable. Take a few deep breaths. While you're breathing deeply, relax your shoulders, your stomach muscles, the muscles in your face, your hands, and your legs. Let go of all the tightness in your body. Now bring your attention back to your breath. Notice what it feels like as it enters through your nose, goes down through your throat, filling your lungs, and back out through your nose. Notice your stomach and chest rise and fall each time you breathe in and each time you breathe out. And just allow your breathing to be natural and relaxed. Now bring your attention to the feeling of your breath in your nose. Feel your breath as it comes in and goes out. Just focus on this sensation, paying attention to each time you breathe in and each time you breathe out. As you inhale, maybe your breath feels cool. And as you exhale, maybe it feels a little warmer. When your mind wanders, or if you become distracted, just notice what's going on in your head, and then gently bring your attention back to your breath, going in and out. Focus on the feeling of your breath and allow thoughts and feelings to come and go in the background. Now gently bring your attention back to the touch of your body on your seat and open your eyes.
Okay. And so that is pretty much what I have for self-care. So again, self-care is a deliberate choice to gift yourself with people, places, and things, events and opportunities that recharge our personal battery and promote whole health, body, mind, and spirit. So I do have some resources listed here, but we are going to email everyone the resource list that I created so that you guys can use that for your references. So it has different things on here from mental health support services, from holistic care to different apps you can use, podcasts, and also crisis hotlines. So that is what I have. And then we're going to leave it to Q&A. So if you guys have questions, you can put it down in the chat box and then we'll read them out from there.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. So yeah, if anybody has any questions for Dr. Tiffany or anything in general that you want to share in the chat, go ahead and type it in now. But thank you so much for joining us again. And we encourage you to follow the alumni chapters if you're not members yet. I'm sure everybody here should be members. I'm not sure how the mailing went out, but if you found the link elsewhere and you're not part of a chapter yet, feel free to sign up. We're hoping to do a lot more collaborations like this in the future. So this should be really exciting. And then I know I feel more relaxed after that. I don't think I've ever gotten 5 minutes to my toddler's back. There's my 5 minutes are up.
But that 5 minutes well worth it, right?
It really was. So there is a question in chat. What methods have you found work best for children?
So for me, from when I've had little kiddo clients, a lot of things that work for them is a lot of kids like physical stuff that they can do. So arts and crafts is very helpful. You know, I don't know if some parents are really against it, but a lot of kids love to make slime. And that can be turned into something that can be very calming. So if you want to do some slime with your kids, putting on some like soft, soothing music and doing some of the creating of slime. And then also nature. So I have some friends that take their kids to like hiking trails or to the park. Of course, they try and keep them, you know, kind of secluded and away from too many kids. So they try to go to a park that doesn't have too many kids there. But parks and just going on nature walks have been very helpful. So anything that can be physically that they can do, like tactical, like things that they can touch and things that they can see, has been very helpful for kids. And again, TikTok is a thing to do. So if you have time to just spend with your kids to do TikTok, your kids will love you, because all these kids these days love TikTok. So if you want to do a little dancing workout thing on TikTok, that is very helpful. And then they also have videos too for kids for yoga. So if you want to look up videos to start trying to practice yoga with your kids, that can be helpful too.
Okay, let's see if any more trickle in. We're at the tail end here, so I don't see any more questions. A lot of things coming in from the audience, though, and the tools. I guess I have a question. I know I bullet journal, but what kind of journaling exercises have you heard of or that you can recommend?
So some things that I've actually seen has been helpful is a lot of people find different things on like I hope I'm saying it right, Pinterest, where they, again, with the bullet journaling has been very helpful, or they will actually have journaling prompts on Pinterest that have been very helpful. So it can be just like writing affirmations every day. So writing an affirmation every day and maybe writing your thoughts on their affirmation, or having a gratitude journal. Gratitude journals have been very helpful too. So every day you will wake up in the morning or before you go to sleep at night is writing out everything that you were grateful for that day. Has been very helpful as well. So I love gratitude journals. One thing I started to create was a gratitude intentional journal where I will actually, it was kind of like, I can't even think of it right now. I can't even think of it, but it's when you like cut out different pictures and things like that, and like create little artsy pages. Has been very helpful because I love like stickers and tinsels and drawing out different designs and stuff like that has been very helpful too.
Yeah, it's a vision board, I believe it's called. Yeah.
Like a vision board journal. So I have an actual book, and so all my pages look like vision boards, like mini vision boards, have been very helpful too.
Excellent. Okay, it looks like that's our time. We have another thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Harvey and Corey and the Alumni Association for helping put this whole thing together. Thank you everyone for joining us. It's been amazing. I know I personally benefited, so this is exactly what I was excited for today. So thank you so much for joining us, and I hope everyone has a great night and practices these great tips.
Thank you.
All right, bye everyone.